You wake up. It's 7 a.m. Before you even say good morning to yourself, before coffee, before brushing your teeth, you're already on your phone, scrolling, and within 60 seconds, you've already seen someone your age who just launched a startup, a friend who's thinner than last summer, a guy from high school driving a Porsche. You put the phone down, and somehow, you feel worse about your own life than you did 30 seconds ago. Nothing actually changed. Your job is the same, your body is the same, your bank account is the same, but something shifted. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your brain was literally designed to do this, and a psychologist figured it out in 1954, decades before the internet even existed. His name was Leon Festinger, and he asked a question that sounds almost too simple. How do human beings know if they're good at something? Think about it for a second. How do you know if you're smart? How do you know if you're successful? How do you know if your opinion about something is correct? You could try to measure it objectively, but most of the time you can't. There's no ruler for intelligence, no thermometer for success. No scientific test that tells you whether your political opinions are right. So what do? We look around, we find someone else, and we compare. Festinger called this social comparison theory, and once you understand it, you will never look at your Instagram feed the same way again. Here's how it works. Festinger said humans have a built-in drive, almost like hunger, but for self-evaluation, we need to know where we stand. And when there's no objective way to measure ourselves, we use other people as the measuring stick. But, and this is where it gets interesting, we don't compare ourselves to just anyone. You don't wake up and think, am I smarter than Einstein? You don't compare your running speed to Usain Bolt. That would be useless information. Instead, your brain automatically searches for someone who is close to you. Similar age, similar background, similar starting point. Someone just like you, but maybe doing slightly better. That's the person your brain fixates on. That's the comparison that hurts. Not the billionaire on Forbes, the colleague who got promoted 6 months before you. Not the Olympic athlete, the friend who just ran their first marathon. Sound familiar? Now here's where it gets dark. In 1954, Festinger was studying people in rooms, in controlled experiments. But today, we've built an entire global infrastructure that is perfectly engineered for social comparison. It's called the algorithm. TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, they don't show you celebrities. They show you people who are just like you, but slightly ahead. But here's what nobody talks about. Festinger also discovered something called downward comparison. When we're hurt, insecure, or exhausted, our brain doesn't reach up. It reaches down. It finds someone who is doing worse, someone who failed, someone who lost. And for a moment, just a moment, we feel better. Sound familiar? It's why fail compilations get millions of views. It's why reality TV is built on watching people humiliate themselves. It's why comment sections turn into feeding frenzies. We're not bad people for doing this. We're just doing exactly what Festinger predicted. The problem is, it doesn't last. The relief disappears in seconds, and then you need another hit. There's one more thing Festinger found, and this one is the strangest of all. The closer someone is to us, the more threatening their disagreement becomes. A stranger thinking differently? Fine, irrelevant. But a friend, a colleague, someone from your same background? That's destabilizing. Because they're close enough to be in your comparison group. Which means they're different opinion counts, which means you might be wrong. When we compare opinions, not abilities, we don't just feel intellectually challenged, we feel attacked. They're things we are. Our politics, our diet, our parenting choices, our views on money, on success, on what a good life looks like. These aren't beliefs anymore, they're identities. And the platforms know this. They don't just show you people who disagree. They frame the disagreement as a threat. Because conflict keeps you watching. Outrage keeps you scrolling. Festinger's insight weaponized into an engagement machine. And then there's the treadmill. Festinger noticed that with abilities, unlike opinions, there's a relentless upward push. It's never enough to be equal. We want to be slightly better. But here's the trap. If everyone wants to be slightly better than everyone else, nobody ever wins. Nobody ever gets to stop. He found that the comparison group is not fixed. You can change it. Not easily, not automatically, but deliberately. The people you choose to measure yourself against completely determine how you feel about your life. Compare yourself to someone algorithmically engineered to be just ahead of you. You'll always feel behind. Compare yourself to who you were 6 months ago and suddenly, the math changes. There's even a name for this, temporal self-comparison, and Festinger's own research suggested it might be the most stable, most honest form of measurement we have. Not where you stand relative to others, but how far you've come relative to yourself. You didn't fall behind, you were just handed a broken ruler. And the most radical thing you can do right now is a simple one. Choose your own measuring stick.